G'day folks, Conor here from C-Dubs Media, back with another video, and today we're doing my full review of the Google Pixel Watch. So without further ado, hit the like button and the subscribe button, and let's get stuck into the video. Let's go. Gonna try and wrap this up pretty quickly for everyone. Pixel Watch, it's been out for a little while. Some people might not have got their orders yet. They were pretty far behind Google, especially for the LTE variant. Mine is not the LTE variant. Mine is the Bluetooth/Wi-Fi variant, and it does the trick for me. Now, there's only one provider in Australia that has the LTE variant. That's Telstra. So anyone else, at this point in time, just go with the Wi-Fi one. Don't bother ordering the LTE one. I do want to say, it is overpriced. This is a pretty basic fitness tracker. You can get a lot more in a fitness tracker for a lot cheaper. Example, Huawei GT Runner. If you want a fitness tracker that can do it all, check that one out. It's half the price of this, can track your swimming, can do everything a lot better than the Pixel Watch. I don't get anything for telling you that. It's just my experience that watch is far superior. I think the Galaxy Watch 5 and 4 are far superior over the Pixel Watch. And the main reason being the software features that you get in the Pixel Watch are limited. It is very bare bones, very limited in what it offers you. And I'll explain this to you. It's pretty easy to explain. I mean, you go into the apps, there's not much there. You can't change your ringtone or your notification tones. You can't do much at all in the watch app. So you've got your watch faces. There's plenty of those to choose from, or there's enough to choose from to keep you happy, put it that way. And you can go in and you can edit them. The best ones are already pre-installed and they blend in well with that huge bezel that we've got. Now you swipe left or right to get to your shortcuts. They do call them tiles, but I call them shortcuts, and you can edit them. So I've just got really my Google Notes app, running app, heart rate, weather. I think that's about it because they're the most important ones for me. Then if you swipe down, that's your quick settings. So that's where you can toggle on or off do not disturb, which is a bit of a problem, or other settings like Wi-Fi and airplane mode and stuff like that. So pretty basic. Then swiping up, you get your notifications. I like it. Press the crown on the side and you get your list of apps. Then you have a little button here just above the crown, and that is like your back button or your double tap button, and it brings up your recent apps. It is well designed. I think it looks really nice, and I did ask a guy at work what he thought of it, and he goes, it looks just like a round Apple Watch, which I thought was a fair statement. Even though like Android had watches out way before Apple, Apple did an amazing with their design. And people love that square. It's a very Apple look, but it looks really good. And so does this. This looks amazing. I've got the two-tone band on. So this is the grey one that comes in the box. And then I bought the lemongrass band and I mixed it up. Did half-half. I like that. But anyway, it looks really good. The size of it, the shape of it, the smoothness of it. I think the design is done really nicely. I've heard some reports about a delicate display, but for me, it's pretty good. Now, moving into the display. The display for me is important because I spend a lot of time outdoors. When I'm running or cycling or doing my workouts, I want to be able to see it. And I want to see it in two different ways. One, it needs to be big enough for me to see. Two, it needs to be bright enough for me to read while I'm running. Now, if I'm running and I've got a small smartwatch and I look at my wrist in the bright sunlight and I can't see it, or if I can see it, it's too small, then there's not much point. So I actually get that with this. Now, once you remove the bezels, you do have a little bit of a small display. So I would like to see that increased in the future, and maybe not so much the size of the watch, but the size of the bezels could be decreased. But it's done really well how they mold into all the Google apps or the pre-installed apps like Fitbit and Google. They're all really well designed with that large bezel. Now, like I said, it's very bare bones. Like if I'm listening to a podcast, I can't skip forward 30 seconds just to smash through the ads that come up in podcasts. There's lots of little things like that where I'm just like, oh, it's missing that. It's lacking. And I've been like, smashing the refresh update button to try and get some software updates coming through, but it doesn't look like there's much happening here in the way of software updates yet. I am hoping that they'll add a lot more, but at this stage, it's very bare bones. It's like when you used to I don't know if you did this, but you would install, say, AOSP on your smartphone and take off all the software off your smartphone, put AOSP on top, and you'd have 12 apps on there and you'd build from there. It's a bit like that already on your device. There's nothing on there. And one thing that frustrates me is if I click on the app button in the app itself to go to my applications, it just takes me to the App Store and I can't see a list in there of the apps that are installed on my device. Have to do it through the watch. Whereas with the Galaxy Watch, you could go in and see exactly what was on your device. You could uninstall it from your phone. Here you have to do it through the watch for the most part, unless you somehow come across it in your apps on your device, on your phone. So it is missing a lot when it comes to software. Now, I did try this without Fitbit to start with. So I just used the Google Fit app on the watch. That's what I used to track my heart rate, my running, my steps, everything. And it did it really, really well. I was really impressed with the accuracy of Google Fit on Android Wear 3.5. And so my point on that is, when it was on the Galaxy Watch 4, I did the same thing. I stopped using Samsung and I just used Google Fit on the Galaxy Watch. And when I was running, I'd look at my time and it would have to update my distance, and it was often 2 or 3 meters behind where I was actually running. And then I would look at my watch and it would catch up. And it would often dim out before it caught up. So I'd have to do this a couple of times to get a proper reading of my distance or my pace. With the Pixel Watch, there was none of that. I could see it going up every 10 meters, my distance growing, and my heart rate was accurate as well, as was my pace. So that was important for me. I've had that on the Huawei watches as well, where everything is real time. It's updating as you go and you know how fast you're running. Not just how fast you're running, but you know exactly how far you've run. I get that as well with the Pixel Watch for running and cycling. I really enjoy using it for that. And I look at the watch, the display brightens up and I can see what I've done, how far I've run, my heart rate. I can see all that information on the watch face. Now for me, for workouts outside of running and cycling, just out the back, say doing aerobics or Pilates or yoga or body weight workouts, it's like a timer with a heart rate monitor on it. So it times how long you've been working for, and it sort of looks at your heart rate and it spits out some information to say this is how many calories you burned. So that's what most smartwatches do. And this one did it the same. There was nothing amazing about it, but it did a good job. And I think if you're that sort of a person that does those sorts of workouts, you're going to be pretty happy. Now, if you're getting this to track swimming, don't bother. It cannot track swimming at this point in time. I'll put a comment down below or I'll update the description if you can start swim tracking with it, but currently it can't and they don't say it can. So don't get it if you're a swimmer. I have worn it in the pool and it was fine. I got it wet. It was like a big open area chlorine pool. I went swimming with it and not a problem. So really happy with that. I think for swimming, for water resistance, it's fine. Dust resistance, it's fine. But it's not a swim tracker. It won't track and record your swimming accurately. Battery life. I get a full day. I actually get a full day. And I don't use it to track my sleep. I use my Google Display to do that. It's next to my bed, and that's what I use to track my sleep. If I did, I'd probably get through just to the morning, then I'd have to put it on charge before I went for my run. I don't like dicking around like that. I'd rather just put it on charge overnight and use something else to track my sleep. For me, I get a full day out of it. So I get up at 5, I do an hour to an hour and a half of exercise with it tracking me. Then I use it for my notifications throughout the day. I might use it for more exercise tracking at lunchtime or after work. And then it's just your sort of daily use. I have tilt to wake display on, so every time I look at it, the display comes on. Otherwise, it's off for the most part. I definitely get a full day out of it. Maybe if it was LTE, you wouldn't. I think if you were LTE and you didn't take your phone when you were running or cycling, you would probably chew through an awful lot of battery. But most smartwatches don't really track you for more than a day, maybe 2 days. Again, the Huawei one did 7 days. That watch, I'll link to that here somewhere. The GT Runner, amazing smartwatch, works really well, syncs with Google Fit, incredible, better than the Pixel Watch. But I've gone for the ecosystem here. I'm going to stick with the Pixel Watch. Hopefully it persists and gets better with software updates and we get more options and more features. But for now, it's pretty average. I wouldn't recommend it for the price. I think if they halved the price, it'd be worthwhile. But like I said, I'm in the ecosystem. I've reviewed it for you. I hope you enjoyed this video and my review of it. Hopefully I've cleared up some points for you. It's a Pixel Watch. It's not the best. It looks nice. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Check out.